today was tough. There might be a bull run. Tell me about the bull run.
Oh,
A little
not only
anecdote,
that.
a
So
tidbit,
so I was I was driving out of the jungle as you do, and there's a
as you do.
giant bull. There's a giant bull in the pathway, and there's a fence either side, and I don't know how this thing got there. So I stopped. I stopped. It's got a fence, and then it's got his buddies over on the other side of the fence. And I think, how did you like get
Get over here.
teleported or jumped
Quantum
over? It's
bull.
like I don't know. So I had to, I stood there, watched it for 20 minutes. I thought, this is not working. All it's doing is staring back at me. So I got out of the car and I thought, is this a young bull stallion type thing? And it's going to charge me. It had the little horns, right? And I walked past it. I tried to make it follow me so I could maybe take it down just a ditch or something. So I'll be able to jump back in the car and I ended up just edging past it, hoping that it wasn't going to headbutt my car. And then on the way back from town, there was a fallen tree in the path of in the jungle where I drive through. So
Mm,
I got my machete out of the back of the car as you do, and I'm hacking away at
of
this
course.
fallen tree to be able to break it up so I could move it out of the way of the car. So and what transpired in between in town was not such a thrilling story. It just takes so long to get a few basic things done. So yeah, it's like late in the day, and here we are. Was that a worthwhile ramble for the podcast? Who knows? But it's going in there for today.
Yeah, well, I asked you because, well, it was a little funny because, it's not every day that you get blocked by bulls. I don't know if that's a good or a bad sign. I'm going to say it's good. I'm calling for a bull run now. I mean, a bull teleported over a fence. I don't know what better sign there is. And I think, it does kind of go with this idea of, we were talking just before, again, as you do, as you would say, as we do, and we were talking about, the challenge of, when you have an idea and you want to pursue some things. Maybe, you've got a couple of side projects you're thinking about, but you also, maybe need to get some clients. You're trying to maybe get a little revenue in, if you're more of an independent solopreneur, if you will, or possibly in a small group. But so I was going to pose a little scenario to you. Okay, this is we're gonna do a quick, like, 10-minute thing. We're gonna download from your mind. So here I am. I am a solopreneur and I've got a limited budget. I really can't spend much. I got maybe $1,000 at most I can put into something. I have a bunch of ideas and I want to build something in AI. What would be my process? How do you think I should go about that to try to optimize my chances here?
So you want to build something in AI. That's obviously that's rather ambiguous, but hey, no problem. So what I do is, all right, let's like hot seat. All right,
So I've got an
coaching
AI
session on the
project.
podcast.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I can give you something. I want to build an AI chatbot that's going to help people with mental health.
Great. Um,
But the basics. That's what I mean. I'm not trying to get you to do too, like,
sure,
well, how do I market
sure.
this
I get
thing?
it.
How do I get
Yeah,
clients?
yeah. So it depends. So we're just no, like first, what I do is list out the various types of scenario, right?
Okay.
So because there's a few different directions it can go. What you could do with the mental health thing is actually approach mental health therapists and
Mm,
specialists and look at their existing sales process. If
okay.
they're a certified psychotherapist, whatever,
Mhm.
they have to take bookings. So it might be that you actually go to their website, pull all the articles and the whatever the sales information, whatever, plug all of that stuff into a chatbot and give it to them so that they can take the traffic that comes to their website and convert it into a sales opportunity.
Okay.
So, and that chatbot could be a little bit interactive and kind of take some questions and find out what their problem is and make them feel like they're in the right place because of the credentials of the therapist. And so you're kind of being a lead generator for this
Yeah.
stuff.
Little
And then
little lead generator. I like it.
if you can put that together And the AI chatbot that you use, the system is relatively the same. You could potentially go and offer that same schematic to 20 therapists,
Right.
and maybe each one is going to pay you a few $100 a month for
Sure.
you to help them maintain this. You only need 10 at $300 and you got $3,000 revenue. I
Okay.
think we're having some ideas already on the call, right?
Nice.
Worth
So tell
tuning
me,
into every session.
how am I gonna go find those therapists? What would you recommend?
Um,
What's the most efficient way for somebody to go and try to get these folks?
sure. So there's a lot of types of therapists, and the ones that will be the easiest to sell to are probably the ones that are already fairly good at marketing themselves
Hmm.
already,
Okay.
right? So
That's
they've got a
interesting. I
nice,
wouldn't have thought that. It's a little
yeah,
counterintuitive. Okay.
yeah, because they've got a website, they've got
Right.
social media, they've got a social media manager perhaps, and they've got an email market, or they've got a program they've got a newsletter that's pretty functional. So they're already savvy-ish about this stuff, and so they will understand
Right.
the opportunity that much more easily
They get
for a
the
few
value.
$100. They
Yeah.
understand it because if you go to one that like on what's it called in London, Harley Street, um, super expensive premium, and they're like snobbish, very expensive, and you go and what would you do? You get their email address. First, you're going to go to a gatekeeper. You might
Yeah.
not want that, right? The more high end they are, there's more gates that you can actually have to get through.
So you don't
So you're
wanna
going to
go
get the
too high end.
secretary. Not to begin with, probably not, unless yeah,
No, I
no.
think you're right. I think you're right. There's a middle market for this. So, and what you're talking about here is know your market. So, I've been on this thing and I got told this a long time ago, but it's recently kind of resurfaced, which is like go get a customer, right? Go find a customer. At least talk to people. Don't go building a chat bot and getting all batshit without knowing anything. If you can even ask them, would you use it? How much would you be willing to pay for it? You know, I don't know, right? Like, but go and start to find. I think we're doing this wrong in business. We get like the old school was right, come up with a plan. So you did this big business plan. You spend weeks and weeks and weeks on a business plan, researching your market and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And like, okay, we don't really do that now. People have realized those are overkill for the most part. But I don't think we start with the customer first. I mean, hell, even making personas, just something that simple in your own, right? Like,
Yeah, so I've got a whole thing on personas. The way my real quick spiel here is that I worked with a data profiling company in 2008-ish, 9, and they worked with big brand companies, Renault Cars and Orange Mobile, which I don't know if you have it in the US, but it's like a European. It's like it's like so what's a famous
we have like Boost Mobile. Is this like a pay as you go? Orange
never
Mobile?
heard
Is that
never
what it
heard of
is?
it. Never heard of it. No, it's like Vodafone, or
Okay. Verizon.
like a yeah, like a big. So we used to profile the data and understand the customers, and we'd end up with personas.
Mhm.
And those personas were data driven because it came from real
Yeah.
customer
Those
data.
were real.
Then what happened was the little marketing agencies, or heads of marketing in small companies, they picked up on this concept of a customer profile, and they just make it into a creative bullshit exercise
Oh
at the end of
God.
the day,
Okay.
right? Yeah. It's
All
like,
right.
all
So a
right,
little hidden alpha personas and using and trying to like workshop these things without any data. Is it bullshit?
oh guys, it's pretty damn ridiculous.
Okay.
If you're
All right.
making it up, you're saying our ideal customer is Isabel, and Isabel works at a jewelry store, and she has two children and a pet dog named Sammy, and like
Oh God.
they plot out this whole creative scenario that might be so far removed from. You see, customers have things that they want to do with the product. As soon as you create one persona or even five personas, and then you pretend that you're going to attract those personas to your products, you're like abstracting beyond the meta levels of
Yeah.
candy floss and nonsense,
You're
and
just out of the
it's almost not worth doing. So anyway, so
all right. So
this
we
is my
get our
quick
people.
my quick version of saying it, what you got to do is understand, what does your customer want to achieve, not who they are, not all of the demographics and psychographic. That can come later, but
Sure.
start with the essence. And then when you actually get some real customers, then try speaking to them and finding out
Okay.
what they are. And then you start to be data driven. But basically just trying to understand, what does your customer want to achieve? And so if we stick with your scenario of the mental health
Yeah,
therapist.
let's bring it home. We only have a few minutes left. So we've got our customer, we got a couple of therapists. Let's just talk a little bit. How do we scale it? How do we start to look to think to scale?
So if you're finding them on social media, you go to Instagram, look up like psychotherapist coach or something, or mental health coach, mental health advice. So you're finding relevant people, go to their website, have a look at their website, see what they're about, read their about page, look at their story, and send them a personal email, right? And say, hey, you know what? I see you there really well. I love your social media. I've got this concept. I'm into AI, and I want to create a service for you that will help you close sales. If it
Nice.
doesn't work out, because this is going to be my first rodeo, if it doesn't work out, you don't owe me anything. If you do want to do this, then we'll set it up on your website. I'll just need like half an hour of your time just to understand really that I've got the right picture about what you do. And then let me build it. It will only take me a few days. We can pop it on the website for you, and you can see if your traffic likes it. If they do, then and you want me to improve the service, then it's going to be $300 a month. If you
Nice.
don't like it, if it doesn't work for you, just remove it from your website in a few weeks' time.
Well, there it is,
Imagine if we
guys.
did that. Yeah, imagine if we did that just like 10, 20 times. We might have a few thousand revenue business just from that. And then obviously, once you've got the credibility, then you don't have to give the freebies away anymore.
Sure.
That's just to get over the hump.
I like it. Well, there you go, guys. We just taught you an AI business. You can go out, you can copy it, come up with some other service or for professionals of some kind. I mean, this could be anything. This could be legal. This could be accounting. I mean, there's any profession might, that has a website that's trying to get leads. I think this would work. So, all right, Gav, thank you very much. Hopefully tomorrow there'll be no bulls in your way.